Remember that time Peter Dutton had a brain fart and decided he was going nuclear? Well, Four Corners and the ABC haven't forgotten.
The gamble to power our future.
It amazes me that there's so much hype about something that's been such an abject failure.
Story of my life.
Originally, I'd planned to do a detailed video looking at the recent nuclear gamble episode of Four Corners.
But
Here's a short version instead.
So, what did we learn?
Nothing new really. The Coalition continue to talk about nuclear energy but have so far not coughed up any form of a plan, modelling or data to support their various claims.
So can you tell Australians how much these power plants will cost?
Yes, we'll be releasing our full economics well ahead of the next election.
You don't know now?
Well, so much as I think you are a terrific guy and I love the program, I won't be making the announcement here today with you.
Do you know what percentage of electricity these nuclear plants would produce?
All of that information, as I've said many times before, through other media outlets, will be released well ahead of the next election.
In the words of another village idiot,
I have concepts of a plan.
What did we learn?
Ted O'Brien at times looks disturbingly like ScoMo's doppelganger.
What did we learn?
When the Coalition point to overseas examples in the Australian context, they're more often than not apples versus oranges type comparisons.
Ontario today is probably around about 18 cents a kilowatt hour. In Australia, we're paying up to 56 cents.
But that's not entirely because of nuclear or renewables. There are different circumstances in each country. You're comparing apples and oranges.
No, not at all.
Yes, you definitely are.
One example that they do point to in terms of a nuclear plant that was built on time and to budget, it was built in an authoritarian country who did not have to overcome hurdles that would no doubt exist in a pesky democracy.
Can you name a single nuclear project that has come in under budget or on budget in recent
Well,
years?
the most recent finished build was that in the UAE, which was done on time and on budget.
Even then though, as it's pointed out, it wasn't actually delivered on time.
Each reactor was connected to the grid around 3 years later than expected.
What did we learn?
The claims about cheaper energy, they don't appear to stack up in the context of recent US experience.
Well, Vogel hasn't brought prices down, it's put them up.
Well, again, this is where the big lessons are.
People astonished when they open their bills, shocked, horrified, and upset. And the number of complaints to the Public Service Commission has increased tenfold.
What did we learn?
Dutton's nuclear plan doesn't seem to have the support of state governments, let alone the wider Liberal Party. It's important to remember that a future government would need the buy-in of the states in order to make any movement on nuclear energy a reality.
Even if the Coalition wins the next election, it's not clear how it would lift federal and state bans on nuclear energy, when even some LNP colleagues are resisting.
No. I've got to be really clear. It is not part of our plan.
What did we learn?
There's just nothing to support Dutton's dream that small modular reactors could be up and running by 2035.
How are you going to have small modular reactors by 2035 on a mass-produced basis that would make them cheaper?
So by the time Australia would be making procurement decisions, there will be multiple SMR designs.
There's just no evidence to suggest that's a remote possibility right now.
I started covering the industry in 1980. I have never seen a project come in on time or budget. And they've come in way over budget and way over time.
What did we learn?
Malcolm Turnbull, he's not a big Dutton fan.
There are plenty of people there in the Coalition party room that know this is nonsense. You see, Dutton is only interested in winning a political point. And what he's seeking to do is to disrupt the transition to renewable energy.
What did we learn?
And finally, the more you look at this whole nuclear thing with all the budgetary, timing and legislative hurdles that currently exist in Australia, the more you have to think that this is just a ploy to string out the lifespan of fossil fuels and keep those that are profiting off them happy. The fact that we've learned nothing new months after Dutton's initial brain fart suggests one of two things. Either his party hasn't done the work, that is, they have no plan and no independent modelling or data to back up their position, or they do have something, they're just holding it off as long as possible because they don't want to expose it to lengthy public debate ahead of the election. As I've said in the past, I don't think it would hurt to have an adult conversation about nuclear energy. There may well come a time in the future where it does stack up for Australia, but based on the information currently available, it just doesn't seem to right now. If the Coalition do want to have that adult conversation though, let's do it. But in order for it to happen, they'd need to be prepared to release a detailed plan with costings, modelling, the works. they'd need to open up their plan for scrutiny to see if it truly stacks up.
Spoiler alert, it won't.